Hi, my name is Justin Blitz. I'm an attorney in New York City, and I'm going to be talking to you about trying a case in the modern post pandemic or pandemic era. Um, I am a personal injury medical malpractice attorney in New York City. I do plaintiff's work. Um, I'm going to be speaking primarily from the perspective of a plaintiff's attorney. This is a national based course, though I practice in New York. So I would encourage, if listeners who are in other states trying cases, to check your local rules and ordinances to make sure that the strategies and tips and things that I discussed today will apply in your home state. Also, I'll be speaking from the perspective of the plaintiff's attorney. I have no disrespect for my defendant brethren, colleagues who are also doing wonderful work, but I am a practice that is 97 to 98% primarily plaintiffs oriented. So the perspective I'm going to be speaking will be from the plaintiff's side. I have tried many, many cases to verdict in my career. I've been practicing for about 17, 18 years, actually longer now. And I took a verdict right before the pandemic began. It was a medical malpractice case. It was in the Supreme Court of Queens County. The jury returned a verdict in my favor for $3.4 million. It was a hernia surgery that was improper. My client was a security guard who suffered a subcutaneous nerve injury as a result of the hernia surgery. Then the pandemic hit, and I had a number of cases that were scheduled for trial that got obviously rescheduled. We in New York, the court system was shut down for a really long time. It's still operating at a very different speed and different speed than it was prior to the pandemic. I went, I guess, like most trial attorneys in New York and across the country, I went almost a year and a half, close to 2 years without trying a case because of COVID. My cases don't really work for remote trials. This is not a lecture about trying a case via Zoom or video conference. This is trying a lecture about trying a case in it with a modern jury in a courtroom that is set up to be socially distant, with rules concerning masks and how far we can be around each other, with a courtroom that is changed in regards to making it more safe for everybody, where jurors, so I guess a month ago, I finally got my opportunity to try a lawsuit post-pandemic era. I was in the Supreme Court, Bronx County. I was on trial for 3.5 weeks. I bifurcated the trial at the beginning of the trial, and my client was a peace officer who was on a three-wheeled scooter, who got hit by a city bus that was attempting to pass it and clipped it. My client, I won the liability portion of the trial after a week of testimony, and then we moved on to the damages portion of the trial, where I also won. The jury returned a verdict in my favor for $4.2 million, my client's favor, for $4.2 million. And it was a incredible experience trying a case in the post-pandemic era. And this next hour that we're going to be talking is going to be interspersed with tips on trying cases in general, and then tips on what I learned trying a case in a COVID insulated, safe environment